And to that piece of lieutenant that's always on his podcast, bashing us, him.
Attention, roll call.
That's right. Good morning, everybody. 8:05 live Eastern Time. We got a great guest for you today. Heshy Tischler, New York City Council candidate of the 44th District, running as a Republican. I just had a great time with Heshy. We just spoke with Heshy offline for about a good 30 minutes. I can tell you what, he's not going to disappoint you. Very charismatic, got great personality, strong personality. So, Heshy, welcome today. Before we get into why I believe you're an American hero, and John also, you did some fantastic things during COVID, just warm us up. Tell us a little bit about yourself, how you grew up, where you grew up, and what got you into politics.
First of all, I tried to get a free coffee out of you, but I can't get nothing out of you. I don't know. That's why I was trying to kiss your butt behind there, before the studio. You guys, I don't know. It's the Italian that's the problem there, He won't chip in for the latte. Anyways, I am I'm going to tell you straight out. You want to hear Jew, Italian, Catholic? I'm an American born, bred first. Yes, I'm Jewish. Yes, I have a Jewish heritage. Yes, I believe in Israel. I believe in a lot of countries. I am an American boy. My father was very proud of me being born here, the first one in his family. They killed 7 out of his 10 people. I am from Brooklyn, always born and bred, never will leave. I'm not leaving New York. I'm not running. I didn't run during COVID. I'm not leaving during your friend Mandani. I'm not ever leaving. And I wasn't scared of de Blasio either. I've been to jail, yes, 5 times, Mr. Police Officer there. They come after me, and I'll tell you the deal. And I'm going to tell you quickly. My father sat me down a month before my bar mitzvah, and he told me, Heshy, I'm going to die. And I'm going to tell you a story. There are 2 friends that we met in the ghetto by the name of Epstein and Friedman. And Epstein and Friedman were good friends. Mr. Friedman had a wife and a daughter and a son. Mr. Epstein had nobody. And when the Nazis came and locked everybody up in the ghetto, Mr. Epstein became a capo. And for your guests and listeners, it is a capo is a cop, a Jewish cop that helped the Germans and was worse to the Jews than the Jews themselves, than the Nazis. And they bumped into each other one day in the street, Mr. Epstein and Mr. Friedman. And Mr. Epstein had 2 of his Nazi friends, and they started pushing Mr. Friedman around. And one of them took out a gun and shot Mr. Friedman's wife on the street. The next pig took out a gun and shot his daughter. This is what my father's telling me. I'm 13 years old. And my father said, all I want to live is for you bar mitzvah. I want you to hear this, Heshy. And right before they were ready to kill the little boy, all the Jews started to scream a little bit. And Mr. Epstein said, listen, I'm going to take care of the kid. And he took out his stick and he beat Mr. Friedman, his friend, so bad that he lay dead on the street. He grabbed the little kid. He told the Nazis, I'm going to take the kid into the woods and kill him. And the Nazis left and walked away. And my father tells me that's the end of the story. Now he tells me part 2. After the war, Mr. Friedman did survive. They picked him up. Somehow he made it through the war, and he came to Boro Park, Brooklyn, my neighborhood. My father lived there as well. And my father tells me back then there wasn't a synagogue or a church or a mosque on every corner or store. We had about 10 or 15 of them in Boro Park. 500-600 people came every week. And Mr. Friedman became a sexton, like a usher. He helped out in the synagogue. He collected the books on the weekends. He helped the people get called up for the prayer services. And one week, a guest came to the synagogue, and they called this guest up for the prayer. And when they called out his Jewish name, Mr. Friedman turned white. And then after the guy started to walk down the aisle, my father says he was a witness to this, part 2 of the story. He says Mr. Friedman almost fainted. When the guy came up and started to talk, Mr. Friedman started to scream, murderer! Murderer, you killed my family! The synagogue, 500 people became quiet. And as Mr. Friedman was screaming and hollering and freaking out, the whole synagogue, the women started crying. It was Mr. Epstein. Mr. Epstein grabbed Mr. Friedman. He says, I can't believe you lived, my friend. And Mr. Friedman was screaming with tears in his eyes, lived? You killed my wife and children. You're a murderer. You're a murderer. And Mr. Epstein says, you don't understand. The rabbi of the town told me to become a capo. He says, maybe I can save somebody. He says, your wife and daughter, they killed. You are dead, so I beat you. I hope you lived. If not, not. I grabbed your son and I ran. And I ran and I ran into the woods, and he points to the back of the synagogue. He says, that's your son. His son gets up and Mr. Friedman runs, and my father tells me they ran to the center of the synagogue, hugging and kissing, and all the women were crying and they were dancing around them. Our famous song, Siman Tov and Mazel Tov. It's a song that you sing of celebration. And people were asking. Now, my father says to me, Heshy, this is where the story ends. He says, I'm a Holocaust survivor. As I saw this celebration, I looked up. He says, I looked up and I saw the angels dance. I said, what? As a 13-year-old teenager, he says, Heshy, I swear to you as a Holocaust survivor, I saw the angels dance. He says, I'm going to give you a blessing. I can't bless you because all Holocaust survivors in the Jewish religion are very holy and they're allowed to give blessings. And my father, with his numbers on his hand, said to me, I'm not going to give you a blessing to be rich. I'm not going to give you a blessing to be healthy. I hope you are. I hope you get rich. My blessing to you is that you do something so great that the angels will dance. And every time I get trouble or I get depressed or I see people die because I go to a lot of funerals and mourning events and then weddings and celebrations, I always try to make other people happy. And I remember that story. I've based most of my life on that. That's why we take kids in off the street. That's why when people come home from jail, older men, I have 2 apartments in my house for no charge to give them a new life. And that's what I do. And that's what I do all the time.
Heshy, it came to notoriety, I think national notoriety, at the height of COVID when Andrew Cuomo and Bill de Blasio had locked down New York City. I remember at the time cheering Boro Park and you were basically like the leader there when the parks were shut down. The government came, put chains on the parks, and didn't allow kids to go out and breathe fresh air. You went and you took a pair of clippers and you cut the chains off the parks, and you became almost a villain in the media for that. I mean, although New York City residents and America cheered for you, in the media you were being painted, and the politicians, they were painting you as a villain. What was your thoughts around COVID? Why did you say, you know what, I'm not sitting by and I'm not gonna let this happen to my community?
You forgot the term rabble rouser, or I forgot some other bad words. I was one of the first responders. Besides being a news reporter, I also distribute food at our soup kitchen that we feed 158 families every week. No, we don't ask for money from you people. I have a foundation that, thank God, did pretty well. And the rabbi, who's my boss, he helps out more than you can ever imagine. We have people that I've done favors for, like a big bakery that donates all my challahs every week for free, and a little deli that I helped open up. It gives me all my dips. So I do have people that donate, but they donate out of love, not because they owe me anything. And so during COVID, I was running around, even some of the tenants that I helped out, I used to drop off milk and juice. And my son, we saw the kids on my block. I have like 20-something kids running in the street. De Blasio wouldn't let the special needs. We have a lot of special needs kids that I work with. They couldn't go out. The parents couldn't breathe. You need to give them a break. I saw kids getting crazy. So in my street, they were running in the street, almost getting hit by a car. So I took my driveway and I made it into a little park, and all the kids played there. And my 19-year-old son comes over to me, he says, Pop, I don't understand. Why can't you just open the park? I said, well, I spoke to the senator. I spoke to the state assemblyman. I spoke to the councilman. They tell me all to jump in the lake. They won't help me. So So what I did is my son says, you go open it. I said, are you crazy? Well, they'll put me in jail. And my son says, since when have you been scared of jail? So I got a pair of bolt cutters, since I'm was a contractor, and took it out of my garage, and I went over to the park. I'm a big park on 51st Street, and I cut the locks. And the Parks Department came, and a guy came with a gun, and I quoted him the law, and I fought with him, and they tried to lock it again, and I locked myself to the park. And then after I sued them, and they kept coming after me, I kept opening the parks, and I saw they were doing COVID testing in my park, and they did a news conference. So again, I disrupted them. I wouldn't let them talk. I screamed at them. I quoted the laws to them. I quoted the First Amendment, the Fourth Amendment, the 14th Amendment. I went right across the board. And then people called me from all over New York. So I went and opened up 19 parks. So they tried to arrest me on vandalism of cutting their stupid locks. But I showed them the law that I left it right there. It wasn't vandalized. You illegally locked me out. And I showed them tenant, landlord, tenant court because I am a tenant from the park and plus an owner. And we were able to get the parks open. And I made a deal with the parks department that we could use the parks, but they won't clean them. And I cleaned them. And my war with de Blasio was really tough. And he came after me 5 times. They tried to arrest me during COVID. And what happened was the big thing that got me to your big notoriety was that there was protests all over, and and I spread the word. People were coming out of the houses in New York. Parks were being used again. I opened up 104 weddings. Even though they were fining my people 15 grand, I used to have people following the sheriffs at night, making sure they disappeared, sneaking the weddings in. I had 104 weddings I opened up during COVID, and people were not getting sick. There was no disease. And I volunteered in the hospital. I was one of 12 people that went in every day. I kissed people with COVID. I tried to get COVID. I couldn't get COVID. But I spoke to doctors, and I know people who got sick, but they abused their privilege. What happened was one of the holidays they warned all the Jews not to come and dance in the streets and go to synagogue. And I told him the deputy mayor opened up a synagogue. I'm going to have all my synagogues in Boro Park running. So Commissioner Shea, with 40 other politicians, with police officers, we made a Zoom call. And they said, listen, Heshy, if you're going to do this, we want nobody on the streets. And you can't open your schools. And you have to close this synagogue, that synagogue. And I told the commissioner, listen to me, Commissioner. We're going to keep all the synagogues open. We won't dance in the streets, but you're not shutting me down. And we're going to have a party. And we're going to enjoy our holiday. And I don't care what you say. And, COVID is already over. And it was October. He says, well, you have to be careful, Heshy. And my 66 precinct liked me, and you have to go through them to arrest me. That's the way it works. And I was talking with my Inspector King every day and so on. What happened was when the holiday was going, we had usually we have an event singing on the street. And for 2 days, a small little block, they wouldn't even let us have that in our synagogues. So they had some kind of a dancing event, and I left at 3 other events that night. The kids, about 2,000 kids, got crazy and started to protest. And they started copying me and burning the masks. And I got home like about 11:30 at night, 12 o'clock at night. Usually I get home very late, and I try to spend a little time with Linda, who I'm married for 35 years. And yes, she buys me ugly ties, and she has a lot of money, thank God. But so I got home late, and I laid down in bed, and I got a call from Inspector King that if you don't get over here, these kids are stopping the buses, they're burning their masks, they're causing fire. There's 2,000, and we have 300 cops here. We're going to hurt them. I said, well, what do you want from me? You have a senator, you have assemblyman, you have a councilman, you have local politicians. No, they want you. I said, I'm not coming. I know what you're going to do to me. And Inspector King says, Heshy, you ask for stuff, you get yourself over here. I got in my car, zoomed over there, and I made a deal you can see I used the police microphone, which was illegal, to send everybody home. And I made a deal that the next night they would close off 2 streets and they would let us sing and dance, and they helped me pay for the music even. And the next night we get there, and there was a local reporter who ratted on all the Jews. He actually called Mayor de Blasio on national television. You can see it. His name is Kornblut, and he told them which synagogues are open. They sent them pictures, and I had to always fight with him. And he came over to me and excited me, and other people that were, there's always somebody at a protest that goes to the other side. They said bad words. And yes, I screamed and hollered him rat, and a bunch of kids came around me. I never touched him. I stopped him from getting hurt, and they sent him away. And we finished our day, and then Mayor de Blasio, and everything finished nicely. And Mayor de Blasio and Governor Cuomo went online, said Heshy caused a riot. And I went on television like a big shot. I said, come get me. And they came to get me. My precinct wouldn't touch me. They sent 2 warrant officers from the Bronx, 4 detectives, 7 cop cars for little old me in front of my family to arrest me. Then they lost my fingerprints, kept me in jail another day. and I told him I'm going to get them. And that's where it went from there. I fought the city, and you're asking me, Heshy, you're not scared? Of course I'm scared. Of course I'm disappointed. You know, I went to jail for 9 months and a week because some people did bad things, and I was a conspirator to the crime. I wouldn't cooperate with the FBI or with the other units. And I told them, jump in the lake. I don't really care. And the judge warned me, he says, Heshy, we'll let you go. We're going to take away your business and money. I said, I don't care. Don't you understand? I grew up in a neighborhood, and my father was a survivor. I have Italian clients, Spanish clients, black clients. I have 21 foster kids through my building I have a Muslim girl that I couldn't take to synagogue. I had to take her to the local mosque. Thank God they had 16 violations. I helped them clear it up. I'm the only Jew that can go into that mosque still to this day. So you're telling me, am I scared? I'm not scared to go over to you, John, and I'm not scared to say, hey, here's the deal. Yes, yes, no, no. What's the worst you can do? Yes, I ran for office 3 times before and I lost. So they didn't vote for me. I'll do it again. Let them learn their lesson. They come to me. My office is, when I came home from jail, the chiefs were screaming at me. Where were you? Why you? I said, I'm out of business. I'm going to go bankrupt. I'm a felon. No, you come in here. My business is now 5 times bigger than before. I don't advertise. I'm not bragging, but I've made back my money, paid off my mortgages, and I can't believe that the people trust me, because your word and honor, and I learned that from my father, is more important than anything. So you want to come get me? My dear friends, I'm going to stand before the Holy Maker in a couple of years. I'm going to stand before that holy court, and I'm going to answer to God. I know, laugh at me, God, Brooklyn, New York. Yes, I am a believer in God. I'm an American. When I was in jail for 9 months and a week, I was in a camp. They let you go home. There's no gates. You have bunk beds, cable television. And I remember there, when I came there, everybody knew who I was. And even the camp counselor, as we called him, the head guard, we had one, put me in charge. I said, are you crazy? Do you know who you're dealing with? And I became the scrounger. Like if you ever saw the movie The Great Escape, I was able to smuggle anything in. I was able to help all the prisoners. When I went home, all of them came out. I still help prisoners in jail. I send commissary. I go visit the jails every 2 weeks. I know they're criminals. They're bad people. People need a second chance. People need to have a little peace. God maybe showed me, when he put me there, how to treat others. And that's my life in a short, really, story. I work every day, 18 hours. I'm up 4:30 every day. I'm in the hospital at 6, unless I have an inspection like today, or an interview with you that you promised me free coffee, a latte you didn't give me. I put in my 10, 11 hours, and then at nighttime I go to people that are sitting shiver, who lost their parents, bring them food. Linda prepares. She has her own charitable things. I go to weddings. Last night I was at a wedding and a bar mitzvah. Tonight another wedding. Saturdays I do speaking events, and I help with my synagogue. And of course, I go visit people. I have one lady. This is the last thing I'm going to say, because I know I talk a lot. I have one lady I met 35 years ago that lost her husband, a Holocaust survivor.
It's your day.
I say I have one lady that's 100 years old today, this year, and she's a Holocaust survivor. And I remember when her husband died, she was sad. And I went up to her on Shabbos, that's the Sabbath. And you have to make a special prayer. It's called a Kiddush prayer. And then you're allowed to eat. And I went up to her and I said, I'm going to come every week to make this prayer. And every week I went up to her, and then she started cooking for me. She makes me sit there. I sometimes have to sit at 5, 6 people's houses till I get home for lunch at 2:30. And my wife screams at me, you're late. On Saturday afternoon, that's the day I spend with my family. I always took my children, my foster kids. They have to come with me in the morning to synagogue. They have to volunteer with me in the hospital. They have to clean the garbage. Everybody has to do something by me. And I remember Mrs. Wolf, her name is, and she said to me, Heshy, I want you to eat with me. And every week she gives me something to eat. It is now 35 years later. She's still alive. And every Shabbos, if I have to go away for a weekend or on a trip, I have to ask her permission to go away. And now her children come to the house and on the Sabbath and help her out. And if I'm late, she says, no, we don't start. You people are guests. Heshy is my son. And I will, and she's still with the program. And that's what I do. My job is to serve my neighbors, serve my city, serve my community, and most importantly, serve my my country in any way I can. I know I'm not a soldier, I'm not a cop, I'm not like you guys, but I'm going to serve my country in any way that I've learned. By the way, boys, I signed up for law school at 61 years old. I'm going to law school this year. In 2 years, I'm going to be a lawyer. I do a lot of administrative law, but the criminal judges don't let me talk. They keep threatening to put me in jail. So I say, I'm going to be a lawyer. That's it.
Well,
I'm quiet.
No. Heshy, you did not disappoint. I said from the beginning of this episode that you're charismatic. You have a lot of energy. I'm super impressed. In my opinion, you are an American hero because at a dark time during COVID, where people really based their ideology on fear, and most people understood the law was being violated, but even with that, because of fear, they figured maybe there's something I just don't know. Maybe there's a reason for it. So I get it. You have this tough background. You grew up tough. You're a tough person. And that gives you that moral character. So unfortunately, you were dealing with weak leadership at the NYPD. And in the past decade, we haven't had any strong leadership. Rob Lukash, Finance Unfiltered family, says Shea was one of the weakest men I've ever met. And unfortunately, that's what you were dealing with. These weak men who allowed us to violate the Constitution. So where did you find your ability? I know your tough background, but where did you find your ability to lead? That leadership quality that you had to behind you, and what was the reaction of the people? Did you get met with defiance right away? Were they right behind you? What was the reaction for the community, and how did you rally them behind you?
Well, remember, I've been behind the scenes before I started running for politics in 7 years. I've been, a lot of the politicians or people who ran for office came to me. I have a lot of families when they're in trouble, from going to jail to helping bail them out or taking kids in off the street. We always worked with the parents. I worked with the schools. I've been doing this since I'm in my late 20s, bailing people out, studying the law. I wish I could have gone to law school earlier, but again, I had a family, I had children, I had a single mom that I had to help out, who was a wonderful lady till she died at 94 years old. We were friends, and she lived in my house. I have a Down syndrome sister. That's why I know special needs kids, who's still alive. She's 57, and Esther, she has her own apartment by me, and Esther prays for me every day because she says she's going to try to keep me out of hell. But she's the best, and she asks for a raise in allowance.
She got a tough job now.
She's got a tough job. But I've been taking care of kids. Remember, I've always had a team around me when I built my construction company. I always knew how to delegate. I knew how to solve problems. For some reason, people come to me with their issues and problems, and I know how to sit there and think and look at the end of the tunnel. I don't know how to get there, but I figure out a path. It might cost a little bit more. It might cause some issues. But in the beginning, the community was behind me. And then afterwards, the leaders of the community, yes, I'm ashamed to tell you, are upset with me because I'm called a Chilul Hashem. I'm an embarrassment. We, the Jews, keep our laundry private. Even when I dealt with abused children, I used to go to the rabbis or the people who did it, and I took care of things in a different manner in privately. And sometimes maybe you police officers didn't like it, but we don't let my children to get I don't allow my children to get abused. I even have a rule in all yeshivas today. No rabbi could be alone with a kid, and no kid could be alone with a rabbi. You have to have 2 kids in a room or 2 adults in a room. That is my rule. And if you break it and you have an accusation, you're going to jail. I swear to God, you're going to jail. And before you go, be careful. If you kidnap one of my children, even as a joke, you're going to get it. I've been involved with something called the gets. A get is in your world, you get divorced, you get a civil divorce, the judge gives you a divorce. In the Jewish world, the rabbis write the divorce, but only the man can hand it over. If the man does not agree to the divorce, the woman is in bondage. And in the Jewish world, you cannot touch a married woman. If you touch a married woman, her children are no good. She can never be touched by another man. It's a very bad thing. And we have a way there are rules on how to make them give the gets. I've been involved with 12 of them. And that's when the government came after me because there were people doing some bad things. Again, I was the middleman. I know how to negotiate. I know how to talk. I'm a great salesman. I know how to talk to the politicians. So if you guys think that I just fell into this 7 years ago, I've been fighting the hospitals when I see them mistreat my people on their beds, and when they're screaming, I scream at the doctors. What are you letting them sit there? Why aren't you putting them in the system? So I'm very close with the Maimonides staff, not the administration, who are bad people. I had a cousin in the nursing home business when a lot of people died there under Cuomo. I screamed at them. How are you allowing this? We're understaffed. I said, you guys are billionaires and you're allowing people to die. You don't have to make money. Your objective is to help the others. Don't you see what I do? And I scream at them, and they're going to get there. Some of them did get theirs. Again, I don't forget. I have to forgive. I am a man of God. I mean, I'm sorry, I'm not. I'm just a lowly creature, but I do believe in I believe that my God gave me a woman that I didn't deserve. She's not from my background, from my Hungarian history. She's more American than me. Father was 3 generations American. She's more hip. And I told her when I married her, I said, Linda, I'm going to be doing crazy stuff. I'm not going to be home a lot. I'm going to be serving the community. You're not going to like it that we give away a lot of our money. And she said to me, Heshy, I'm not going to love you for one thing. I'm not going to love you for anything. I love you for who you are, and I will be by your side. And I didn't believe her. And after she tricked me into marriage, you know how women are. They're very smart. I don't even know how. I thought I was smarter than her. You know, I thought, oh, she's a dumb.
I didn't know they could trick you, Heshy.
Oh, she got me good. She look at me. I can't get out after 35 years. You know what I mean? Sometimes, and she's a bad cook. Don't tell her I said that. I do all the cooking, by the way, and laundry in the house. But yes, and I teach my children how to set the tables. I teach my boys how to be good husbands. I teach my girls not to ever be I don't have daughters. I had foster girls and nieces and nephews, how not to be touched. I talk about drugs. I talk about sex when they're younger. My community doesn't do it. So afterwards, they didn't like it. But I don't care. And I never cared when anybody said about me. You know, when my son got married, my second son, they look into your history, the other family, what kind of a father he is, what kind of a mother, what kind of a background, what family history going back 10 generations. And they heard I was in jail, and they broke my son's engagement, and he was very depressed. Very depressed. And I took him upstate. We went away together. I said, don't worry about it. You know, they don't know why I went to jail. They should be explain it. And at the end, the girl came to my house one weekend. I said, what are you doing here? She says, well, I don't care what my parents say. I haven't lived at home for 4 years. I'm in college. I actually paid off her student loans. And she's a PA today. She's doing great. They're married 7 years. And their parents came over to me and apologized because she wanted my son. I said, first you look into the history of the boy. Don't blame the father for his son's act, you know, his father's acts. And we are good friends today. And again, a lot of things did affect me on a personal level. I could have been richer. I could have had more time. But you know what? I'm not taking it with me. I know Linda, for some reason, that crazy woman is still with me. She lets me home every night in her bed for some stupid reason. And I don't know. I know sometimes people want more. I'm actually, that's why I'm not scared of your government. I'm not scared of your mayor. I'm not scared of your governor who did some bad acts. I know that there are good people out there. There's some stupid policemen out there. There are some stupid firemen out there. There are some stupid rabbis out there. There are stupid parents. Yes, I have to get angry at some of those parents. I don't want to tell you stories. I've been to the hospital where I've seen Jewish girls raped. I have 80 girls on the street that I don't know what to do with. I have boys being molested or being abused. I'm trying to get housing. I have people coming home from jail. They have nowhere to go, and you know they're going back to jail. So I try to find them homes. I try to find them jobs. And if you remember, I have a life too. And Linda, I promised Linda we've been saving for 5 years for a vacation. I'm not talking a little vacation to Florida. We're going to go on the big one. You're talking we're going all the way to the best hotel. And Linda's been hiding that money in her little shoebox where I know where it is. And she warned, she says, if I touch that money, I'm dead. And she actually bought a safe to hide it now, little witch. She actually has a broom. She flies around. Did I tell you she's a witch? But I make fun of her on every show, and she always tells me I should stop. But I am proud that I am not scared. I'm scared of one person, the creator. Yes, I'm scared for my family that I might not be there to provide for them. I might not be there to help my neighbors. I might not be able to fight for the fellow man that needs a little help. I might not be able. You know how many people I fought over 3,000 violations against the city. I've helped 5 schools this year reopen due to vacate orders. I've opened up 2 mosques, a synagogue that was shut down for 15 years. I'm proud of the job I do and the way I do it. I built a team. I have Muslim workers, I have Jewish workers, I have black workers. Matter of fact, my office manager, who's my boss, is a black girl who I found at IKEA. My head drafter is a Muslim woman. I have more women working for me than men. And the problem in my office is now I had to make a woman's bathroom because we don't do the transgender thing, just for your knowledge. There is a separate, there's 2 genders. There's no 19 genders, even though sometimes I do identify as a cat. But that was a stupid joke. Stupid people. Stupid.
Heshy, so Simcha Felder, he's now in City Council, District 44, the seat you're running for. What do you think? What do you say about him? What do you think? Why did you say, you know what? We don't need Simcha, we need Heshy?
Well, I'm going to tell you, I knew you'd get to this. Simcha Felder was our councilman 12-something years ago. He quit in the middle of his term to get a better job as controller. He quit controller to become a state senator because nobody challenges those seats. And you were able to get a secondary job. He was making an extra 500 grand a year as a professor. He was never even in Albany half the time. Matter of fact, he was my son's professor, and I was scared he was going to fail my son. My son did a good job. But again, he was busy for himself. He sold his house now and moved to Jersey. He rents an apartment. You can't do that. But anyways, Simcha Felder went there and he got sick. He's not so well. He can't go to Albany so much anymore. So when the seat opened up that Kalman Yeager couldn't run anymore due to term limits, he left early for another seat that they gave one Democrat, gave to the other Democrat. So the seat was open. Simcha Felder decided he has 4 more years to retirement. And now the state Senate won't let you have secondary jobs, and the council seat gives you a little bit more salary. So he came back down. He doesn't have to travel to Albany. He's able to go to Jersey to his house on weekends. And he figured that with his name and brand, he can beat me. And in the special election, I thought I had him. And then he got 2 big Jewish organizations that control Boro Park. I thought I did a good job of advertising, but he beat me. He beat me tough because those 2 big organizations got me. And my Italian friends and the non-Jewish people that should have come out in my community, which we had 15,000 voters and only 5,000 came out. And he did sue me, and I was an independent. There was no Democrat, Republican, so nobody really comes out for those elections. Now it was only a temporary spot. Here's the real election. I've spread the word. I've raised the most money. I know how to raise money. My clients who are big landlords are begging me. Mandani's coming in. In the last 8 months, or 7 months that Simcha Felder is there, 0. He's helped nobody with their violations. He's helped nobody with the landlord-tenant courts. Landlords are getting in trouble. He's helped nobody on the street with soup kitchens. He shows up at a food event and carries a little bag for 10 minutes. He's done nothing with his discretionary fund. He's not helped anybody but his big friends in the rabbinical stuff. He's not done. Even the people that go to his office, they tell them sometimes call Heshy Tischler, because I deal with landlord tenants. I deal with people on the street. He has done 0. So I've now been finally, because last time the Republicans gave the Wilson Pakula to him, they actually gave him the endorsement, a Democrat. I was very angry. I ran a good campaign. I've won the Republican nomination. I've been endorsed by the Republicans. I have an independent line as well, just like he has the conservative line. And I'm hoping that the Republicans come out. My community is a Republican neighborhood. I don't need the Jewish people, which I do want my fellow neighbors that I owe. And when I walk down the street, everybody stops me. They invite me to their events, their speaking events. They all swear they voted for me. That means I have like 90,000 votes. But the young people are now voting. They like me. I feel there's a different air. They see the trouble coming. They need somebody that will open their mouth and not be scared, because if they come after our neighborhood again, my people are going to shiver there and cower, and I will not allow it. And I know that if they put me in city council, I know the laws, I know budgets. Half of those people don't even know how to read the budgets or read the legislation. I'm going to change the laws. I have my legislation in place. I'm even going to put in legislation that we can do recall votes against our mayor that New York City doesn't allow. I have so much plans and so well prepared for this team. I have a team ready to be built around me to go after Mandani if he wins, to go after the city, to not only for my community. I believe in New York City. I work in all 5 boroughs. I help people from all different religions and races. I promise you, I had the other day a pastor that when he had a big inspection and he failed 6 times, when they hired me to do it, he pulls me over and he says, "Can we do a prayer together?" I said, "Pastor, you understand I'm Jewish." He says, "I don't care." He held my hand, talked about Jesus, and I had a good time. I says, as long as somebody's praying for me, and he's a good man, the pastor, beautiful, and I passed his inspection. He says, "You see what Jesus did?" I said, "Listen to me, Jesus was Jewish. Let's have a little discussion." But I love my city. And I know I can beat Simcha Felder. And if I can't, I can't. I'll go on my way. I'll continue to serve my community. It's not important to me. I'm not taking a salary anyways from city council. I'm going there because I know I'm needed. I'm now one of 8 million or 6 million people, okay? And I'm fighting my battles one at a time. If I get into city council, I become one of 51 members. You're going to say, "Heshy, one of 51 is not enough." I know. I'll work that out. If I can win now, I can maybe convince some of them to join me. There'll be 8 other or 7 other Republicans, 10 people in the Common Sense Caucus. That gives me 18 votes. I need another 6 or 7 to take over the city council votes. We'll make deals. We'll filibuster. We'll fight with them and get legislation to pass. Yes, I will have to compromise. I understand that, which is something I don't do. But I will do it. And I will work the city that I will not allow my people to get taken advantage of, whether you're poor or rich, landlord or tenant. I go either way. But if you do something bad, especially to my children, you're going to get punished. And if you're a criminal, there's no such thing as cashless bail. Rapes in my community. Mayor Adams says crime is down. 434 murders last year, 2,000 shootings. You have gang members walking on my streets. Are you crazy? Even if your crime is down 1%, your police officers are busy giving tickets when you should be out patrolling my streets. My 6 precincts, we have our own private safety patrol, and the cops are great in my community. The cops work with us. They come out, they hug me, they make nights. I'm proud of them. Sometimes we have 1 or 2 idiots, but most of them are great. And they come and they protect us. And that's the way it should be all over the city. But again, we don't back our police officers up. We don't help them. So some of them are weak. And our commissioners are weak. Is Tish any good? I don't know. I'm not too happy with her. I don't believe a woman anyway should be the commissioner, but that's another story in general. If you repeat that, I'm in big trouble. I don't care. I really don't care.
Heshy, obviously you're not shy, and obviously you're not going to endorse Zohran Mamdani. But tell us if you could break down, what are your thoughts on each candidate right now? Tonight is the debate, and who are you endorsing? And if you could tell us why.
Zohran Mamdani is a socialist wacko, 33 years old, that's never run a city, never run a job, has no idea of a $118 billion budget, free bus services. I mean, we have a $2 trillion GDP, New York City, more than countries. And these people are losing money. You're raising our taxes last year by 18%. Okay, let's just say you're right. Now you raise my taxes. You then reassessed my properties, and now my taxes after reassessing them is really 22%. You tricked us. Zohran Mamdani has no idea what budgets are, what landlords are. He's going to freeze rents. 1 minute, my oil bill went up, my tax bill went up, my repair bills went up. New York City Housing Authority has 30,000 vacant apartments. You can't fix them, but you give us violations, and that's what I do all day long, fighting them. Now you know I had a lady I made a judge, and she was a parking violations judge. They fired her because she only was working on 50 tickets a day because she actually was good to the people, and she found like half of them not guilty. They fired her because they told her she has to have 173 guilty tickets a day. I mean, they're actually telling their own judges to rule against us, giving them benefits to torture us. Zoran Bendani is going to let loose his 312 government agencies and go after us, especially the Jews. And Bendani's an idiot in general. And if you ever see his legislation, I think 3 bills he's done in 5 years, he's done nothing. He has a zero credibility, a zero history, and globalized jihadist. How do you do that? How do you let protests in the middle of my city? How do you do that? You want to be mayor of the town? Don't tell me you represent everybody. So Mendani is a liar, an idiot, dumb, and I think he's going to destroy our city and bankrupt us. A lot of my people are going to lose their homes and buildings, and you're right, the rich people are going to hold out and then buy us cheap like they did in the 70s and 80s, and then in 10 or 20 years, they're going to score big. Cuomo, I don't know if I have to tell you more about Cracker Mo. He's a murderer. He murdered 1,400 of my people in my borough, in my community. The man is going to rot in hell, and I want to go to hell just to see him cook round and round. I hate him. I hate him, and if you win, experience what? So what? He's a molester of women. I was one of the first ones that interviewed Lindsey Boyland. I told her to go after him. He's a pig. He's going to destroy our city. Yes, he has deals with all the big boys. He might be able to make deals with the president. But Cuomo, I'm disgusted. You're right, he's a better option than Bendani. So you have, instead of the devil, you have the demon. My God. That's not an option. I know you people out there think it's an option. It's not an option. Your option is Sliwa. Yes, Sliwa has his faults. Yes, Sliwa did some prejudicial remarks. Who doesn't make a prejudicial remark? Who didn't make fun of a woman? Who didn't make, I have a lot of gay friends. I do have a gay clientele. And I tell them, I don't believe in gay marriage. Why, Heshy? Why? Because the Bible says so. Now, you could have contracts to get married. You can have unions to get married. You don't have to do it in the synagogue or church or the government. It's man and woman. So some of them argue with me. So you have no problem? I said, no, today with the legal paperwork, it'll be more secure than better than a stupid marriage certificate. And, people argue with me on that. What about you think about abortion? Again, I'm against abortion 100%. But a woman has a right to do with her body what she wants. So again, I'm a conflict of interest. I'm a flip-flopper. I'm not a flip-flopper. I have my beliefs that what I will do. I am an honorable man. I'm not going to force other people into my opinions. And Mendani, who is a socialist, those people are not even for the greed. They're in for making other people follow their ways. To be, I have a lot of Muslim community, but I have a lot of people in the Muslim community. And the problem that you have with the Muslim community is that they want you to be like them. And there's a lot of good people that don't want you to be like them. So I don't know what to tell you. I love everybody. I've had Muslim people in my community. I don't force my opinions on you. Our job, and Mandani's job is, if he gets elected, is to be the manager and control of this city, not to give us rules and regulations on how to run our lives, where to pray, how to pray, what days to pray, and no more protests. If I was mayor, I would actually arrest them on an hourly basis, not let them out of jail. Shutting down my city, shutting down the Brooklyn Bridge. Forget what you're doing to the mayor, making opinion. You're putting me to work an hour late. I'm making less money. I can't get home to pick up my children. I can't go shopping. What are you doing, shutting down my city? You can't shut down the greatest city in the world. And Cuomo, during COVID, didn't give a crap. Black Lives Matters, protesting. People, they came to my house during COVID. After I made my deal, after I was left in jail, just for your knowledge, when they arrested me, they lost my fingerprints, kept me in jail a second day. I said, how do you lose my fingerprints? The police officers were listening by the door and not letting me talk to my lawyer. They didn't bring me kosher food. A Jewish cop brought me food and they took it away from him. I didn't care. I was fat, so I don't need to eat for 2-3 days. But And I remember when I got out of jail, I was so angry because of that I saw how the system can abuse you, and they let other people go, cashless bail, and when you want to come, so they made a deal with me. My police officers and my priests said, Heshy, try not to make a big deal of it, make it go away. They'll give you an ACD. That means after 6 months, your crime gets disappeared. You do some community service. I said, okay, I have a soup kitchen, I have a youth center, I have the synagogue. The Jewish DA made me go work in a black church in Bushwick so I can get beaten up. Matter of fact, they loved me over there. We were doing 200 people a day we were feeding. I was one of the big stars. They couldn't believe why the Jewish boy was working in the church. And then to punish me further, because they saw things were working out, they put me in a gay outlet store. You know, I know how to sell dresses very well. I actually like doing that. I think it's good money.
Jacob, 410 years.
So I am so sorry. I don't know how to shut off this phone. I'm so sorry. They start calling me from 4 in the morning till late at night.
I thought you said to put on Do Not Disturb.
I tried. I see. I'm 61. I'm not so smart like you. Maybe I should be mayor. The dumbbells they can get elected. But your best option is Sliwa. Sliwa is he's all over the city. He's raised $2.5 million. He's finally got on his track. He's got his act on. He is very much into safety. He knows what it is to get the policemen out there. I believe he'll build a good team to run the city budget. He's not going to push his idealisms on the rest of us. He's going to want to change the city. I know you're all saying he has no chance, but that's not true. See, here are the numbers now, my dear children. 800,000 people came out to vote for the Democratic primary. That's it. Yes, Zohan won, and you know what he won? He lost 20. He lost 29 out of the 51 city council districts. He only won 21 of them. He got the Muslim community out. We didn't get the Jewish community out. We didn't get the Italian community out. We didn't get the black community out. We didn't get out people out. He did. He did a great job. He registered 37,000 people. He did a brilliant, so I believe he's maxed out. I believe in the next part of the election, 1.8 million new voters. We're going to have 2.5 million voters. If we have some kind of brains, people will say, hey, I'm going to vote Republican. Hey, I'm not going to vote for Mandani. Don't waste your vote on Cuomo. That's where my problem is, that Cuomo should have dropped out of the race, and we would have won big time. I love Curtis. I see him. He was in my office the other week doing a video. I let him use my studio. I think he's intelligent. I scream at him all the time that he has too many wives. But that's a joke, guys. It's a joke, you know. But he is a good man. He has children. He's raised well. Jewish children, matter of fact, which is interesting. And regular children. He's an honorable man. He really does. And he tells us he makes mistakes. And I tell you, too, I make lots of mistakes. I feel... He has a love. I hug him. I give him a kiss. He has no problem with it. He touches people. He's intelligent. If you ever sit down, you know, you hear him scream and talk on the TV. Sit down and have a chat with the man. He's very smart. He's 70-something years old. So I'm hoping he does his 2 terms, but at least he gives us 1 term. And if I get into office and I do what I'm supposed to do, we'll be able to put new people up there, change our city more Republican. I'm hoping the city hears us. I hope you hear the message. Curtis is the person to go for. If not, you should be embarrassed, because you're putting in. And if I would have known that we only had 2 idiot candidates like this, I would have run for mayor. You know, that's how easy. You would have seen me on a debate. You would have had to mute your telephone. You know, there's a channel in New York City. I want you guys to get it. It's on cable TV called the City Council channel. They pick their nose, they scratch their behind. You want to kill yourself after watching them for 4 hours. If I get into the city council, please get it. It's going to be the #1 show in town. You're going to have it X-rated. You can't let your children watch it, because what you're going to see going on in the city council, they'll be sanctioning me every hour.
Yeah, absolutely. No, the calls are ridiculous for
I want to say one more thing. I want you to say one more thing. When I was on this probation thing, they gave out my address. And 2 Palestinians came to my house to kill me in front of my wife and granddaughter. They tried to run me over. The police let them get away. I captured them with my shmira. We got him arrested. They let him out after a day. He went and beat up 2 more people, and he texted how he got the fat politician. at his sentencing, he cried about Palestine, how his father abused him. He got 18 months in jail. They let him out after 7 months. I don't know what to tell you, my friends. And then at the last protest, the cops let somebody attack me because we did a counter protest in Boro Park. I didn't allow them in Boro Park. They did the outskirts. They attacked me. I fought back. You can see my bloody face. You can't knock me down with one punch. Get it out of your head, boy. You got to make sure the bullet goes all the way through, okay? And that's why I like being fat, because, it blocks the bullets. But we fight back. I've been on the streets. I have my friends from different communities. They all tell me get a bodyguard. I don't need a bodyguard. When I was in jail, matter of fact, I did have a little MS-13 guy I was helping out, and he used to follow me around and tell everybody you can't touch Heshy. And I said, I don't need a bodyguard. He says, Heshy, you take care of everybody. It was so cute. Everybody says, you have a gang member. I says, no, I made him Jewish.
Actually, you're hysterical, bro.
I can listen to you all day, man.
Yeah, I love it. So, dude, what else you got? We know you're busy. We know you got a lot of stuff to do today. What do you want to wrap up with? What do you want to end?
I'm going to wrap up simply. On November 4th is election day. No matter what, go out and vote. Vote. It's not Republican or Democrat. You're voting to save your life and your city. You're going out to save your neighborhoods. You're going out to save your neighbors, because in 4 years, the destruction, what de Blasio did to us and what we've fixed up over the last couple of months, and even under Adams, things are getting a little better. They're shutting down my daycare centers. They're taking away, they're giving them more regulations. They're actually trying to hurt my parents that are out there trying to work, and they have to run home at 3 o'clock. If you don't get home at 3 o'clock, they can arrest you for having your kid on the street or take your kid back. And I want my people not to be on welfare. I don't want them to be on Medicaid. I want them to have 2 family jobs. That's what we have to do today. They're hurting us. They're creating new legislation every single day. We have 30 bills a month that pass. In fact, we don't have enough laws. We need to make more laws. The DOB is out of control. Their commissioners, their chief, fining my people, doubling the fines, garbage fines. And I'm not talking $25, $50, $1,000, $10,000, $15,000. Then they put liens on your houses. I want you to come out to vote. I would love to have support. I need 50, 60 people on election day. And my website is heshytischler.com, or just call me. My phone is on from 4:30 in the morning till midnight. I swear to you, I pick up my phone. I sleep for 4 hours because there's no bad channels on in the middle of the night. I couldn't afford those channels. So that's a joke. Just for you Jewish people, I do not watch bad channels. I do. No, it's a joke. That's for the Italian boy. He knows how to make fun of me.
Well, we saw, when we were offline, John came on camera without his shirt on. He did it for you.
I know.
Listen, usually when we have a guest on, and especially someone as charismatic as you, the stuff you do is just amazing. So could you also tell us a little bit about yourself? Like, besides being a leader and besides being a tough person who's supporting the community, what do you do for fun? Tell us a little about you. You listen to music, you read books. What do you do?
As I told you, I'm saving for that big vacation. So my fun is I always wanted to get on the show Survivor. If you ever saw that show, I've been watching it for day one. I applied for it once, but I was 400 pounds, so they turned me down. But my fun is simple. I like to, in the evenings or when I do have a chance, to have a nice dinner with Linda. We go for pizza every Saturday night. I know it's stupid. And we buy pizza for special adult homes, and we treat them. And that's what me and Linda do. We have a date night at least once a week. We sit around. We go to the movies. We actually go to the movies. So that's me and Linda. I love going to the children. By the way, I play baseball. I was 6-3 the other year. I cheat. Yes, I spin on the ball. I make fun of the kids. But that's what my deal is. My fun is to spend time with the family, to go upstate with Linda or go away, to play baseball. That's my little things, and spend time. I would like to have a good vacation. My dream vacation, of course, Florida by the beach, while Linda dances around me, bringing me pina coladas. She tells me that's never going to happen. But that's my dream. Just dance around me for 2 weeks, and when I snap my fingers, you come to me. You hear me, you woman? And she says, I better not say that. But that's my thing. I like my people. I like my community. Oh, I do like to go to the Schwitz. I know you don't know what that is. It's called the Russian Bathhouse on 10th Street and 4th Avenue.
Oh, I know what that is. I know
They
what
have
that
a
is.
they have a room 300 degrees. It's an oven that burns your skin, and then
They
you
hit you with
throw
the leaves.
they hit you with the leaves, and you throw cold water on yourself, and you want to kill yourself after this. To me, it's delicious, and I don't like when they give me their leaves, so I bought my own leaves, and I do the plates. And one day, many years ago, about 15 years ago, Puff Daddy, your Sean Diddy Combs came in with his whole busload, and I was giving a friend of mine a platesa with the leaves. They let the private people do it, and Sean walks up to me and he says to me, "I'm next." I didn't say I didn't work there because they charge like $50, $60, and the man is built out of steel. I mean, if you want to know steel, he is. And he gets up there, and everybody's watching. Heshy's, they all know me there. And I took my brooms and I beat that bastard. I beat him and I tortured him, and I tried to kill him and turn him over. He is made out of steel. That man could not be. I really tried to hurt him. And he gets up afterwards, and I throw the cold water on him. I try to make him suffer. He says, "How much of a tip do I have to leave you?" Damn! I couldn't break him. And then his bodyguard comes over to me and says, "I'm next." I said, "I don't work here, man." So that's my fun. My fun is my town, my city. I'll go away for a weekend upstate. I go visit once a year. Me and Linda go to Florida to visit older people that have moved away. We haven't done that in a while. But basically, me and Linda are busy here. We have our community service. So our good nights out, as Linda likes it, when I shut off the phone on a Saturday night and we watch a nice movie, and we just chill. And she's a good kid that she puts up with my stupidity. Or when the children come over and we watch them break our house, the
It
grandchildren.
actually sounds like you got a young woman.
I don't know. The only thing that upsets me is when my grandchildren start teaching me the ABC on my beautiful new painted walls, and I want to choke them, but Linda lets them get away with everything. I don't like her sometimes, I tell you.
All right, yeah, Heshy, we got all your links down below wherever anybody's watching or listening to this. So if you want to learn more about Heshy, his campaign website's there, his social media. Heshy, how come you're not on X, bro? I only see you on Facebook.
You're wrong. I'm on X. Heshy Tisch. It's called, on X, it's called Just Enough Heshy. On X, it's Just Enough Heshy. I have a second website. On Instagram, I have Just Enough Heshy and Heshy Tischler. On Facebook, they make you do all these crazy things. I don't know, man. So I'm all over the place, and I'm trying. So, but I am on X, and by the way, how do you think the cops know what I do or where I go? They check the X. That's how they follow me. It's all police officers and politicians. That's how they know where I am and what I'm doing.
Gotcha. What's your X account again?
It's Just Enough Heshy.
Just Enough Heshy. Listen, as I said earlier in the episode, you lived up to your charisma. I think you're a strong person. I think, honestly, you make a lot of jokes, but that shows you care. Someone who can be humorous shows you're a true leader.
I want to finish this with you. Every morning I go to the hospital and I see people sick or dying or family members crying. We give them their little stupid packages, and they don't want to tell you anymore how sick they are and how they're suffering. So as I go from room to room and I'm talking to them, I complain to them. I give them my problems. I tell them how my wife stole an extra $100 from my pocket. My foot hurts me. My toe is no good. Do you know I have a hearing little problem? My doctor calls it, and I complain. And all these people are giving me advice how to get better or what doctor to go to. It makes them happy when somebody else tells them their issues. So I know about the world, and that's what I do. I do every day. Oh boy, I can complain. So I found out how to complain, and I know how to make people happier because I know.
Actually, where can people turn to if they want to help you, if they want to donate some funds, or
again, it's heshytischler.com, HESHYTISCHLER.com. The most you can donate is $175, but $10 and $5 is good. We've raised our money. I also have a soup kitchen called Shevis Achem. They can always call me and they can donate to the soup kitchen. We do not need it. If we do it, we would like more volunteer work, and I really would like. This is what I need on November the 4th, or November the 3rd, or November the 2nd. I want people to come into my office, which is always open, by the way, 24/7. And that's the kind of councilman I'm going to be. Come in, help me with my phone banks, help me go out there and knock on election day, hand out flyers. Get me elected, and I will make you proud. I know some of you people think I'm crazy, or that's what you hear from them. I promise you, 21 foster kids, 149 nephews and nieces, thousands of court cases, judges that call me, police officers that call me, a wife that's crazy because she takes me home, and she lets me come in. You're right. I scream and holler. I make a show of it. Hey, I'm a showman. I'm sorry. I like that.
Heshy, one question from the audience for you. Casinos. New York City's looking to put in casinos. Where do you stand on that?
I know you're going to get angry at me. We have enough casinos in Vegas. I'll buy you a ticket. New York City has enough crime. I'm against casinos because you want to put it in residential neighborhoods. Now, if you want to go put it on First Avenue where you're away from my people, where you're going to do better protection, where your hookers are going to be at the end of the day, you know what's going to happen, where they're going to sell drugs, go do it there. You know, your friend AOC, that witch, closed down Amazon that was going to give us $25 billion in revenue. Forget the revenue. The trickle-down effect would have been another $50 billion in income to this city. And we allowed that to be shut down. You're going to open up a casino for me, somebody else to make some money? Go open your casino on First Avenue on Long Island. Not in my residential neighborhoods in Coney Island where I have my parks and my people are living. Not in Boro Park where you're opening up your homeless shelters. I'm not against homeless shelters, but they don't know how to run the system. I helped 3 homeless shelters open up. They're beautiful, well run. Your other homeless shelters, people are doing drugs, prostitution. Mandana's going to legalize prostitution. No, I'm against casinos in the way you want to propose it. You want to do a casino? Go to the end of the city. Go to your Jersey. You have Atlantic City. Get in your car for 2.5 hours. Go to a casino there. Why do you need it in Brooklyn? Why do you need it in Manhattan? My real estate is needed for housing. I have 80,000 people on the street. 20,000 children. You want to build something? Build me housing. I don't need a casino. I know I'm stupid. Revenue, I don't care. I care about my people, and I want the landlords to build. Let them make money in rent. You don't have to make money in casinos.
Yeah, I do totally agree with you. I don't think anybody on here is you're 100% right. There's no place in New York City, and unlike what Commissioner Bratton said, they are going to raise crime. And I don't know what his op-ed that he wrote, where he said that if Commissioner Bratton wrote an op-ed that casino will actually bring down crime in New York City. I mean, like, I don't know who funded that op-ed for him. I don't know what that was, but every study that's ever been conducted shows when you put a casino in, crime rises.
It's a fact. I'm so happy you guys agree with me. I know a lot of people are against me on that. You know, the councilwoman where in Seagate, Brighton Beach, Ina Vinikova, Republican, she voted. She voted for the casinos. And
yeah,
then
but Heshy, there was a little quid pro quo. We can't talk about that on the show because after she voted for it, you know, Don Trump Jr., I didn't know he does endorsements, but he comes out and he endorses Ina, you know? And I didn't know that you could be a city councilman and live in Florida, because if I did, I would have ran too. I could not show up for any votes either, and not vote either.
We have a city council.
None of this, by the way.
We have a city councilman that lives in Jersey, so we have nothing to worry about here. You know what?
Mayor that lives in Jersey.
I like Ina Vinikova. I like my other people, but when you what's good for the goose is not good for the gander, or whatever the saying is. She said casinos are good, but not in her community. That's not fair, Ina. You want the casino, you're going to put it by you. Don't vote that I should take it and not you. Don't vote the homeless shelters to come by me, that it took me 50 years to build my neighborhoods, to get my homes over $1 million, to get the value there, to get the rents up, and now you're going to put a homeless shelter next to me, and you're not even going to take care of it. And your 2 developers that did these homeless shelters, not according to DOB regulations, because I see it, I saw their plans, and they live in Jersey. They don't live by me, so their homeless people are running around, robbing, raping, killing, stealing from me. I have stores being stolen their food in the morning that's dropped off at the bakeries, while you guys are living the nice life, getting lattes. By the way, John, you owe me a latte. You better buy it with cinnamon.
You told me you were going to buy me a sandwich, bro. And
corned beef. I want both of you to come in the best corned beef. I'm going to take you down to the best corned beef at Essen Deli. By the way, when they tried to arrest me for bribing a fireman with a corned beef sandwich, which was not true, the restaurant calls it the Heshy sandwich.
Yeah, it was
And
Joe.
you know what, Heshy? I gotta say, your breakdown and your explanation for the casinos is fantastic because if you look at Vegas, like Vegas, the entire community was built around the casinos. And if you look at the community around the casinos, most of Vegas outside the strip is a disaster, especially North Las Vegas. And then if you look at Atlantic City, it's the same thing. And New York City has enough revenue and enough opportunity to make money in other ways, especially with real estate. So I think it's fantastic. Listen, I love casinos too. I love to have a good time. But I think your outtake was fantastic and you're spot on. Absolutely.
Thank you, my boy. And by the way, these people don't know how to run a city. $2 trillion coming in, and you don't know how to make a profit. You know, I was fighting with the DOB and HBD in front of a judge once for my client, and the judge says, "Okay, Mr. Tischler, I'm going to make you the receiver. A receiver usually takes over a building, sucks the money dry, and tortures everybody." I said, "Judge, I'm not going to do this for a couple $100, and I don't want to do it. I don't want to work for the city." She says, "Mr. Tischler, if you don't take over the building, they're going to lose their apartments. The landlord's going to lose the building. I want to see what you can do. You have a big mouth." And I took on the job as a joke, and I made my building profitable. I help the landlords get their buildings back. I teach them. I'm able to take a bad project and make it better, and I've done that 3 times. And the judges love me, and I told them, "No, I'm running for city council. I'm stopping to do it." If you know how to run a budget and you know how to run a city, you don't have to make $1 billion profit. Make a little less, do it right the first time. And I've been doing it for 40 years. So whatever you want to tell about me, your city is stupid. You want to bring in revenue? $2 trillion. Figure out a way to use it and make a profit that way. You have so much money in taxes coming in. You know, if I was your mayor, $118 billion, I promise you, I can cut 20% off the budget and fix your home at issue. Right away, between duplicity of your 312 government agencies, I save you $4 billion. I submitted my proposal to the mayor's office. Of course, they didn't listen to me because I'm a dumbbell.
Look, Heshy, I know you got to fight, but I got one question for you. I know you got another fight you got to get to, but I got another question for you.
Linda's not coming today. Don't worry.
Okay. Bail reform, right? How has it affected hate crimes in Boro Park, if at all?
They laugh. They get out of jail in 2 hours. They come back. They're not scared to attack us. They come in the hundreds. They rob us. You see them robbing you, and if you do anything against them or hit them back, you go to jail. My people are scared. It's stupid. I never heard of this, that they can rob you, and if you touch them, you go to jail with them. It is stupid. If you fight back, you go to jail with them. I had to get attacked and not touch him back and have a bloody face because the cop said, if you fight back, you both get arrested. This stupid bill, and they let him out. An hour later, he's coming back into the neighborhood laughing at us. And there's no order of protection. No, Mr. Bragg. I have tonight on my show Maud, who's running, I forgot her last name.
Maud Moran.
She's delicious. She's got to beat Bragg. Bragg is a lowlife. Gonzalez is pretty good. Again, he lets people get away with stupidity. And then again, he overdoes it in some cases he's again a political guy with television stuff. I love Mr. Gonzalez, but sometimes he's also into politics. I'm not scared of your politics. I don't need to be reelected. I don't need the salary. So I'm going after them. If I get in, I'm going to get them. I'm going after them straight on. And this is going to be a transparent city council. That means any deals behind the scenes is still going to be told to everybody in the city.
Actually, outstanding. I mean, you lived up to it. Hell of a charisma. I think you actually speak from a place of authenticity and honesty. I think you're honest. I think you tell like it is, and that's why I can say it. You're probably a guy that's a love it or hate it. People love you or hate you because you tell the truth.
They make believe they love me. They make believe they love me, but everywhere I go, I get more pictures taken than the bride and groom when I go to a wedding. But I tell you the way it is because I don't lie. I make mistakes, but I don't lie. I've learned to tell it the way it is, to take it like a man, to take the punch in the face, and I'll deal with it, and I'll fix the problem. And that's what I think Linda does like about me, because I go home at night and I tell her the truth. Hey, Linda, I screwed up. I did do this wrong. I did look at this pretty girl, which I shouldn't have. I know, Linda, and I do admit, not that I'm a girl or a wussy that I have to tell my wife everything. I'm a man that's not emotional, but I do have emotions as well. And I want you to know that I just don't like fakers and liars. And I don't want people to get hurt because I don't want to be hurt. I've been screwed. I've been cheated. I've been to jail. And you can't do that. And I know we can make so much of a better city. And you're just screwing it. You're giving it to somebody else for no reason. You can do so much more and still make a profit and still do well. I'm not jealous of what the other guy has, but don't take away what I have.
Heshy, outstanding. Listen, before you go, I know there's a lot of questions, but since you keep speaking about jail, I think we have to ask this. What are your thoughts on Rikers Island?
Rikers Island is a hellhole that has to be shut down, but we can't shut it down because if we do, what are you going to do? You think those stupid little prisons you built in the outer boroughs are going to work? We could fix Rikers. You just don't want to. You just want to have another excuse to build another building to spend more money. You don't know how to control it. You don't know how to be nice to the COs. I know how to be nice to the COs. I was in jail. Matter of fact, some of them are still my friends and they come to my house for dinner. I swear to God. So I want you to know, you have to know how to do this correctly. You don't know how to run a business. The correctional system is a business, and you have to be able to work. I know you have programs to help the people to get out of jail, but you're not doing it right. You're not on top of your game. I know a lot of guys who are in the prison correctional system that are saying, "Oh, they're too evil, Heshy," or "We don't know how to control it," or "We don't have enough money." I don't know what you're talking about. You seem to have enough money to be building millions of new prisons all over the boroughs. You have the greatest place, Rikers Island, that's right here in the city. So the people don't have to go out of the city to visit their people. Control it. There's so much. Again, I can come up with a plan, and we've all came up with at our little family gatherings, how we're going to fix Rikers, how we're going to fix this. Rikers is fixable. But again, you're talking a hellhole that you don't want to fix. You know, I want you to come with me to one of my homeless shelters, and you're gonna cry. People are sleeping on the street, on the floor. Children are living in squalor. I go to a lot of people that I feed. People are below the poverty line, not because because nobody cares or they themselves don't care. You have to teach them. And I have people that have come out of jail that have been successful. I have young children that have done better than me, that are making more money than me. They laugh at me and they call me, "Hey, Big H, we're making more money than you." I'm so happy for them. You don't even know. You know, when I play baseball with the young kids, they used to be 10, 11, 12. It was easy to strike them out. Today, these monsters hit the home run and they dance around me and make fun of me. And you don't understand, I'm really happy. That's why I spit on the ball a lot and I walk like 7 almost to the plate to throw the ball at them. But I cheat. But I not really cheat. You know, the game of baseball has its new rules, the Heshy rules.
Heshy, last thing, gang database. New York City Council wants to take it down. A lot of members in New York City Council.
Are you crazy? Are you crazy? Really? I'm not going to let that. When I get into the city council, I'm going to sue them. I swear to God. You're not going to tell. I want to go after the gang members. I know my life is in danger. They're going to come kill me. Don't care. You have gang members taking over buildings. You have people living there that have no choice but to live in the Bronx or East New York that are scared for their lives. And you don't even know. Even though you're saying, "Oh, they'll kill themselves," stop it. I've got to stop these gangs. I don't know how. I think about it every day. I don't know how to stop them. And that's where our drugs are coming from. Come to my drug treatment centers. Come to my children that are sleeping on the street that are stoned. Yes, I'm against marijuana. Why? Because they can't go to work the next day, the kids. I don't care if you smoke marijuana. I don't care you legalize it, but there's no control. You don't really have a system on regulating it, and the city is not making money. The state is not making the kind of money they promised. I don't mind. Go yourself a plant at home. Have 2, 3 plants. Smoke your drugs at home, but it should not be sold on the street corners. I'm sorry. I'm not sure.
Heshy, what do you think about this? Tom in the chat says, "Never commit a crime with Heshy. He will spill all the beans."
I like that guy. Tell him to come over for a Shabbos meal to the house.
There you go. Shalom.
Shalom, baby.
Outstanding.
All right, Heshy, thanks for joining us, brother. It was a pleasure. Let's do it again. You know, if you're always welcome to come back. You want to join us on a round table, talk something. We wish you luck. I think Boro Park needs you. So, you know, let's get you over the finish line and let's get Curtis
on November the 5th when I'm the winner of the election. Then you get me on your show, and then let's get ready to rock and roll and buckle up, baby.
Do you have in Boro Park? Do you have the correct pizza ovens right now? I know that was a big issue, right?
We have the best pizza called Amnon's Pizza. I've been going there since I'm a kid. It's the best pizza. I know you Italians think you know better than
You
us.
gotta go over 65th Street to the.
No, baby.
Yeah,
Come,
right over there.
you come into my town. I'm gonna teach you what a pizza is, boy. Okay, I'll put you over my knee after you finish with that one.
John might like that.
I'm in trouble again.
Heshy, thank you so much. You heard
You're
it here today. Heshy Tischler, outstanding running for city council, 44th district, Republican, Jewish, tough, charismatic, real man, real transparency. I think everything you said today was spot on, especially when you spoke about the casinos. I agree with you. And I love casinos. It's a pleasure to have you here. You're welcome at any roundtable. You're welcome at any time.
Tell them to watch my show Wednesday night, Just Enough Heshy.
Just enough. Wednesday night, what time?
Wednesday night, 9 o'clock, Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, and of course, regular channels, WSNR, 620 AM, WNEW FM. So if they just text it or email it, you can find it. It's on live radio from 9 to 10 every Wednesday night. In the beginning of the show, you might get a little bored because I make fun of Linda every week. And I get a little nervous because I want to know if she'll open the door that night after I get home.
All right, God bless
Bye,
you.
babies. Have a great week. God bless you, and God bless this great country.
Absolutely. All right, people. Find us Unfiltered. We'll be back at you. Make sure you tune in tonight, 17:05 or 5:05 p.m. Executive Perspective. Ron and Rob, they're going to be talking about the ICE raid on Canal Street. Where were the cops? Why weren't the cops there? And they're going to be talking about Rep. Dan Goldman, who's trying to say that the NYPD should be out arresting ICE agents. So that's going to be an interesting conversation. Make sure you tune in tonight on YouTube at The Finest Unfiltered. Make sure you go over to our updated website, www.thefinestunfiltered.com. Check out all of our content, news articles that we're putting out to you. Make sure you subscribe over there as well. And and again, our website's powered by Cicada Traders. So if you like our website, you wanna get a website just like that, contact them. You can find them in our sponsors page on the back. Eric, anything before we get out of here, brother?
Yeah, sure. I just put it on the screen. You got the QR code to the website. If you're watching the podcast and watching the network and you're watching one show or all the shows, please go to the QR code, go to the website, finestunfiltered.com. Take a look at our new newsletter. It's really starting to progress every week on a weekly basis. We'll give you the news. It's a short synopsis, keep you in the know. And also, we even give you the crime stats based on NYPD CompStat. With that, also, we've been doing articles and we've also been doing opinion pieces. So please take a look at the finestunfiltered.com. And more importantly, subscribe. That helps. If you're on YouTube also, and if you haven't subscribed, please, it's a free country. Don't be afraid. Even if you're a cop, subscribe. Subscribe. We have to stand together. If you need to go to have a fake name, fine. Subscribe to YouTube, like, share, and subscribe to the podcast, and subscribe to the website, finestunfiltered.com. Thank you, everyone. Tune in tonight. Executive Perspective. I think it's going to be a hell of a show. And if you haven't seen yesterday, great show, great interview by the 10-4 Tavern with former retired Chief Boyce from the NYPD. I thought it was an awesome interview. Take a look at that. And, of course, tomorrow, Sal Greco will be back. Hell of a week. Thank you, everyone. If you notice, I'm not in my RV right now. I'm traveling. I'm in Europe right now. So thank you, everyone. I'll be back soon. I appreciate it. John, great job. Heshy Tischler, that was awesome.
He's a nut, bro. All right. All right, people. We'll be back. Me and Eric Mullen will be back on Friday.
And John, the X-Space. Plug the X-Space for tonight.
Oh yeah, tonight if you guys are around, we're gonna do like a little pre-debate party on X. It'll be live. You guys could talk. We're gonna listen to the debate on X, so you could drive or do whatever you're doing at night. Listen to it while we're live on X, and then after we're gonna go about 45 minutes where we're gonna wrap up what happened at the debate. It should be a pretty good debate. It's gonna be New York 1. It's gonna be hosted by Errol Lewis, reporter Katie Honan, and I forget the other reporter's name. I can know his face, but I can't think of his name right now. But I'm thinking it's gonna be a lot different than that NBC debate. I think that the questions are definitely gonna be more into New York City politics. Obviously, that New York City talking head, New York City reporters, and I don't agree with Errol Lewis on about anything, but I gotta say I listen to a lot of Errol Lewis interviews. And he really does give everybody a fair shake, regardless of where you stand or whether he agrees with you or he doesn't. So I think it's going to be a totally different debate. And I think, again, you're going to see Curtis Lee with shine. We had an X-Space last night. Like, I was just put together an X Space last minute, and one of the guys said something on there, and I was like, wow. I was like, you know what? He's so right. And he said, you know, the polls are skewed, the polls aren't reading right. He's like, but there are some things in the polls that people aren't pointing out. And one of the biggest highlights I think he pointed out was 40% of Mondani voters did not vote for Mondani. They voted against Andrew Cuomo. So if that doesn't show you the unlikability of Andrew Cuomo, I mean, I don't know what does. I thought like when he said that, I was like, oh my God, he's so right. How many people didn't know? And like, you know, so what I really believe, like Mondani's really like his numbers are all inflated, and so's Cuomo. And I think this $1 billion push of let's get Curtis out of the race is because they're trying to get Curtis to fold his hand. You know, if any of you guys play Texas Hold'em, you got a weak hand. What do? You keep upping the bets, right? Because you want to put pressure on the guy with the winning hand. You know he's got you beat. You got 2-7. That guy's sitting with ace king. There's ace king on the board. Looks like possible flush on the board. You want to make him believe you have the flush. You keep betting. I really think, I'm telling you, I think Curtis Lee was a head man. And I just did an article recently on Polymarket how it's not an indicator of voting. It's not going to translate to votes, right? Because Polymarket, when you look at Polymarket, all it's showing you is where the degenerates are putting their money, right? And so, but people are putting there like, oh, Mondani's at 96%. So I went back and I looked, where was Mondani a week out from the Democratic primary? And he was polling at 20% according to Polymarket. And Andrew Cuomo was at 80%. And how'd that work out? Mondani won the Democratic primary, right? So we can't rely on Polymarket. So I was with a friend yesterday, and a couple other people had said this to me. They're like, yeah, but John, what you're missing is that Polymarket follows the money. Polymarket's following the money. So you should be able to see people aren't going to throw their money at bad money at bets. So you got to see if their person's got a lot of hype, that means they're ahead. So then I look, where's Andrew Cuomo? Andrew Cuomo is number 7. As far as in bets. When you look at bets, it's Zohran Mondani at 56 million. It's Curtis Lee at about 35 million. And then it goes down. It starts, I get all the way down to number 7. Number 8 is Rudy Giuliani. He only has 2 million less in bets than Andrew Cuomo, with like, I think 12 million. Andrew Cuomo is about 14 million. And then on top of Andrew Cuomo, you people probably don't even know him, Zelnor Myrie. He was a Democratic candidate for mayor in the primary. He's got more money in bets than Andrew Cuomo. Adrian Adams, Eric Adams, Brad Lander. I'm sitting there and I go, well, you know what? Polymarket's not a good indicator of how people are going to vote, but it's a damn good indicator of how many people think that Andrew Cuomo has a shot to win, and not too many.
We definitely plugged a lot of stuff today, right? We're trying to keep everyone in the know about the shows, the website, the QR code, the articles, the newsletter. And there is one more thing we forgot to mention. We are starting where you can call in, leave us a voicemail, and we're going to vet them, of course. It can't be something ridiculous. And we'll play the voicemail if it's a question or something about the Finest Unfiltered or something going on with the police department in New York City. So we will have that option. John just put the ticker up here. So call the Finest Unfiltered, and that's 718-506-2867. Leave us a voicemail or leave us a text message, and we'll put it up on the screen here. Obviously, if it's about something that's topical. So there's different avenues. We want our audience, our friends, our listeners, and our haters to be engaged. That's what makes this platform unique, is it's not just the Finest Unfiltered. We have some regulars here, some friends and listeners that are constantly with us in this chat, and we feel that you're part of the Finest Unfiltered. So Mikey G, Mickey Murphy, Hood Mayor, Stephen S. If I'm missing anybody, I apologize. But there's people here. Lampwick, you're always with us here. We appreciate it. You're part of the Finest Unfiltered. We'll be back, of course, Friday for the roundtable. Thank you, everyone. Heshy, if you still listen, great job.
All right, Finest Unfiltered, people. We'll be back at you.
There's a handful of retired officers that don't live in the state that have a lot to say about the dream team, as I like to call it. All of a sudden, they retire and have a master plan on how to fight crime, but nothing to contribute when they were here. They want to come back and be part of the dream team. What can I say?